to me is something that I really like about baseball, and to be honest with you, I really feel like it's been under-taught in the last few years. And in this particular episode, we'd like to break down, there's 5 bunts that are basic bunts to be able to play the game of baseball. First one is going to start out, we're going to talk about the sacrifice bunt. We'll show it from the right side, and then I can switch up to the left side here in a moment. From the right side, first things first, if this is the plate, we want guys to move up in the box because all it does is just maximizes your angle. So I always talk to players about, if you take the plate, and you can see here's about the halfway spot, your back foot should be splitting the plate in half. And so that's going to put my front foot here just a little bit further out in the box. Now, every time that you bunt, what you're going to notice with me is that my feet are going to end up doing a lot of the work for me in terms of trying to achieve an angle, right? Another thing to think about is this. It's really easy. If there's a runner on first base, we want to bunt the ball to first base, and there's a reason for that. Think of it this way. If there's a runner on first base, the first baseman has to hold that runner, which means that should leave open some space on the right side. If there's a runner on second base, I'm going to bunt the ball to third base, simply because the third baseman has to stay back to be able to defend against the potential stolen base. So, again, going to first base, assuming right now there'd be a runner on first base. What I'm looking for here is my feet are going to point where I want the ball to go. Next thing is, in regards to the bat, I want the bat to start at the top of the zone, and a lot of times what you'll find with younger players is they tend to be too low on the bat. And to be honest, I think it's because they're afraid of being hit by a baseball. So you've got to try to emphasize that they get towards a balance point. I'm pretty good about right where I'm at. Even more advanced players, you'll see that they even go up into this area, right? With younger guys, as long as they get to a balance point, I'm good. Another thing that I don't care for is I don't like it when guys go here. I like them to stay towards the handle of the bat with the other hand. So start over again. Start at the halfway spot, come up. I start at the top of the zone right here, and you can see what's happened is my feet have decided my angle. And all I'm trying to do at this point is bunt the inside of the baseball to the right side. Now, know that, again, I start at the top. If the pitch is low, I can't go here because chances are I'm going to end up popping the ball up. So instead, what's going to happen is I talk to players about riding a roller coaster or riding an elevator. And so the idea is I'm going to go down this way, and I keep my angle. And again, what's doing the work here is my feet. Now, if I was going to try to bunt the ball to the third base side, because there's a runner on second base, all I do is switch up. And I put my inside foot almost on the inside line of the batter's box. And once again, split the plate in half if it's changed. But what's going to happen is now my ankles change where I'm trying to get around the ball to be able to bunt it to that side. Now, if I was a left-handed hitter, everything looks the same except for it's on the other side of the plate. If I'm bunting the ball to this side, same thing, just like a right-hander going to third. If I'm going to go to the third base side, turn your feet. Now I'm right here. Everything stays the same. The biggest mistake that guys make in the sacrifice bunt is that they tend to get out here on their front side too. And so for me, one of the things that I try to emphasize, I should say, is stay on this side and simply catch the ball with the top hand. In this particular case, sometimes you'll see this too. I may be a little bit turned too much fat. If that's the case, the easiest way to correct that is to make sure that the back foot in particular is the one that's going to fair territory. So those are the sacrifice bunts. Now, if you want to go bunt for base hit, we'll go back over to the right side. A lot of your footwork is going to look very similar to what we just did. The difference is it's bunt for hit. Maybe it's a safety squeeze, runner on third base. The runner on third base is not going to break until the ball's actually been bunted. In those particular cases, if I'm going to the right side, here, I'm going to show leg. This should look pretty familiar for you. When the pitcher then starts to deliver, I simply get my feet where I want to go, and right here. The big thing on the safety squeeze is I don't care about the runner, the batter runner, so to speak, being safe at first. Instead, I would rather have them stay in the box and worry about being able to get the bunt down to the right side because, again, we're trying to score. Now, if I'm going to bunt for hit to the, in this case, third base side, this is a little bit different, but not quite so much. The footwork, you're going to notice, instead of being here, like I'd be on sacrifice, instead all that happens is my right foot goes behind here, and you drop it out. I always try to talk about almost like a railroad crossing. You'll see what's happening with the bat. And what I've done is I've achieved my angle. Once again, ball's down, 2 steps. Let me do the other side of the plate for the left-hander. If I'm going to go bunt for hit to the third base side, all that has to happen is I'm going to take a little jab step towards third. Boom, it's right there. Now I'm out. If I'm going to go to the first base side, it looks very similar to the sacrifice bunt in my footwork. And then I'm here, ball's off the bat, and then we go. So that took you through sacrifice bunt to first, sacrifice bunt to third, bunt for hit to first, bunt for hit to third. The only thing left would be potentially a squeeze bunt. Biggest mistake that's made in a squeeze bunt, you got to think about that play for a moment. As soon as the pitcher's foot hits the ground, that's sometimes the trigger. Sometimes the trigger is, you'll see when the arm passes the head, the runner from third's going. In those particular cases, I've got to defend the runner by, I got to get the bunt down. So in those particular cases, I got to show it later. Chances are I'm probably going to show up when you see an L in the arm. And a mistake that's made is for a lot of guys, they'll simply turn their feet and they're here, they're way too stiff. I don't care for that. Instead, I would rather have a little bit of gap between the feet, so I'm here, and the idea is stay on this side, be athletic, because the ball that's up, I should be able to bunt, but the ball that's down, I also have to bunt. And I'm not so much worried about whether that was the first base side, the third base side, what have you, simply because the runner's going to advance. If I get the ball down, then we're going to score a run in those particular cases. So that takes you through the basics of little ball, in particular bunting, a lost start in the game of baseball.